Hello, everybody. And here we are again with another fabulous facilitator and panelist for our Future of Strengths Forum, our fabulous virtual forum for 2025 that is coming up in October, starting October 2nd. And I'm really excited to invite Heather to this space to let you know a little bit more about herself, which I'm going to let her do in just a second. My experience has been pretty slim with Heather. We've crossed paths a few times over the last few years. But I always really have enjoyed what she puts out there in the world. And so I'm very excited that she's going to be sharing with us. So with that, Heather, tell the folks a little bit about who you are, where you are, and what you do in the world.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You're right. Our paths have just kind of crossed a few times, but they've always been really energetic or I should say energizing and fun. So thank you for inviting me to be part of this awesome event that you're putting on.
Absolutely.
Well, like you said, I'm Heather Erikson. I operate Core Solutions, which is my company that I do training, consulting, and coaching. Core means heart. It is also the name of the city in which I live. And so it's important to me. It's an important symbolism to me that we talk about what helps people get to the core, or what can help people get to the core of who they are and how they function in the world. And so that's kind of the inspiration from the name and the inspiration for how I do the work that I do.
I love that. And I love that you have the nice
Yeah.
play on words, right? I mean, having a name like
Yes.
Joe Self. So when I started out, it's Discover Joe Self, which is all about discovering who you are, but also you get to learn a little bit about me. It's
Yeah,
that
I love that.
collaboration. So love when
Very
you can have
nice.
those play on words.
Yeah.
Excellent. So give the folks a little taste also of like what can they expect from you at the forum? What are you going to be sharing with us?
Yeah, I love strengths. That probably should have been part of my first introduction, but I've been using strengths for over 20 years, and I've been a certified coach for, let's see, 8 years, almost 9 years now. And so I am going to join your panel on and talk specifically about Strengths Explorer, because one of the things that I really love to do is do connections and workshops on strengths-based parenting. And so the Explorer really goes hand in hand with that. I've had a lot of really cool personal discoveries with getting my kids involved with the Strengths Explorer, which I'll talk about a little bit at the panel. And then just how we can use our strengths in parenting is just it was so impactful to me and my family, and so I love sharing that with other people. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
and
the
we had the pleasure
panel.
of having you too in one of our themed networking, right? Sort of as a pre-panel sort of
Yeah.
discussion to really dig into that piece of it. I like Strengths Explorer as well. I'm trying to get all the kids that my son plays with here in the neighborhood because they're getting a little bit older. They're hitting that, tween space and oh, the hormones and the conversations. I'm like, you guys need strengths. You need
You know,
strengths.
it's interesting that you say that, because just the other day I had a new revelation about my 13-year-old, and just like how his strengths are, or the results from the Strengths Explorer are now playing out in a different way. And I
Oh,
was able to
interesting.
change, I'll talk a little bit about it at the panel, but I was able to change my approach with him and how I was encouraging him and what kind of expectations I set, based on that information from the Strengths Explorer assessment.
So what are his, if you don't mind me
His
asking?
are achieving, competition, and discoverer.
Oh, okay. My son
Yeah,
is caring, relating, and competition and competing.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
it's interesting
we'll
how that plays out. So
we'll
yeah, I'm looking
definitely
forward to the panel. I
get
think
to
it's going to be a
dive
lot of
into it.
fun.
And then I have, it's not just my own personal experience. I've had a lot of opportunities. I present at a family retreat every year. And so I've been able to do that with them for the last few years. So there's adults that take strengths, and we do a full workshop with them. And then we do a Strengths Explorer breakout session for the kids that are in attendance, which has been really fun as well.
I love that.
So that's
Excellent.
my most relevant experience, but others dabbled in there as well.
Yeah. Well, and then you've got a session, which your session is not going to be
Yeah,
Strengths Explorer. What are
yeah.
you going to do in your session?
Decision making, strengths and decision making. So at the end of last year, I really decided that I want to create some content and spaces for people to dive deeper into their strengths and how they apply it. I think a lot of people get to the point where they're they're using it maybe moderately, but they really don't know how to aim it in the way that that it really makes a transformational difference. And so I created this series. Decision making was one of the topics that I felt really strongly about because I know myself, I experience decision fatigue a lot. I have a lot of things going on all the time. And as a mom and a wife and a professional, there's just so many different things that I get to make decisions on. And I think it was hindering my resilience. And so I had to look at how strengths play into those decisions, how I can use them to better enable myself to make decisions and to ask the right questions to the people around me so that they can make better decisions as well. And so I'll talk about a couple frameworks that I've used through that process, through that discovery process, and give people a chance to practice some of their strengths in action with decision making.
Oh, I love that. And I think
Yeah.
that's really important. It's one of the workshops, I do the Speakeasy Lab, which we're doing the Speakeasy Lab as part of the forum. So we have that opportunity for people to kind of try that on. And it's a
Yeah.
communication one, but one of the exercises I do really helps people. It's not just about understanding the communication style, but it's about understanding how you problem solve and how you approach a
Yeah.
solution and the types of decisions you make. And it's really interesting. And we just look at it at a high level, like through domains, not through each
Mhm.
strength. But when you do that, it's funny. Like if you said like, hey, engagement's a really big problem right now. What do you think we need to do to improve it? And you divide everybody up by their domains, and executing comes back and they tell you, well, we're going to do one, we're going to do two, and we're going to do three, and we're going to do this order. And we feel it's going to like, and this is what we're going to get done. And we're going to do it by this, like they come with this like
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
executing way, right? And sometimes everybody comes up with the same solution, but like how they got to that solution
Yeah.
is so different in listening to them. Sometimes they come up with very different solutions, right? Depending on what the problem is.
Yeah.
But many times they often come up with similar solutions, but how they got there and like what information they required, how comfortable they felt making the decision, that kind of thing really shines when you look at it through that domain lens and it goes, oh, okay,
Yeah.
now I get it.
Yeah, that's cool to hear those insights. I think one of the things that I noticed with decision making or why I came up with that concept was like you're saying, the communication. People feel really stuck in that communication space, but it's not the actual act of communication that they're having a hard time with. They're having a hard time understanding their own process and their own needs. And that's what strengths really shines so well, that we get to
Yeah.
understand our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors or motivations to behavior in a way
Yeah.
that then we can take that and explain it to the rest of the world or the people that we're interacting with, which elevates our communication pretty directly.
Absolutely. And I think it also helps increase our own objectivity when we're listening to someone else to go, oh, that's not about me. That's their
Yeah,
analytical, or that's their learner, or that's their relator. Like that's why they're coming at it this way. And that's not about me. That's about
totally.
them. Right. And without that shared language, right, we are just judging them or making the decisions through our own lens and not considering that they might have a different lens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And even if we're aware that they might have another lens, if we don't have a name to it or if we don't have a way to at least identify what it could be or ask the right question
Yeah.
to get to what it is that they're really coming from, then we're kind of stuck in
Yes.
that space of
Yes.
okay, I get that they're different, but I get that they're coming at it from a different way, but I don't understand why they can't think about it the
And if
same
you
way
ask
I
them why,
am.
they probably can't explain it either. They're like, just
Right.
cause.
Right.
Like, why
Yeah.
aren't you
So
coming at it this way, right? Like, there's just cause that's what I do. Yeah, so
exactly.
I love that
So
shared language. Yeah.
yeah, so those deeper dives into the more specific topics give us even more refined insight on how those strengths play into our interactions, and so then we can communicate and explain and have better outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so as I finish with everyone, I ask them to pick a number 1 through 5. I'm going to ask you a question conceptually about the future of strengths. So what
Okay.
number would you like?
Well, I'm gonna go with number one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what future are you hoping to help create, and how do strengths help shape that vision?
Oh, well, that is a big question. Well, one of the things that I say is I love to help people be at their best. And when everything and all other things are pulled away or peeled away, I really want to help people be at their best. And knowing who they are and how they were created, I think is a big step in that direction is helping them be at their best. And so strengths really is an amazing tool, an amazing vehicle to help people now know what they're good at and how they can be at their best. And so I really want to continue to help people discover that, dive deeper, like we were just talking about, really refine and use that tool to the best of its ability.
Excellent. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes today so we can hopefully get some people out there excited to join us for the forum. And for those who have already joined, a little bit to look forward to when they get there. We are still open for registration. The dates of the forum are October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. If you're on this side of the world, by this side of the world, I mean North America. If you're on the other side of the world, it's the 3rd through the 5th. But we do have times that will suit most time zones. So there's plenty you will be able to attend, though I understand sometimes may not work for everyone. We do also have a recordings only package that you can purchase. So for any reason you can't attend, you can still get the recordings and attend all of our special bonus sessions as well as part of that one low price of just $77 for the recordings. So our goal is to make this accessible for anyone who wants to expand their network, learn more about strengths, learn more about themselves. And we do hope that we can see you there. Look for a link in either the comments or the description or the post, depending on where you see this, to learn more and register. So thank you so much for your time, Heather. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm
Awesome.
very grateful for your participation.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Thanks.